Hi, today I'm going to show you how methods work. So I've got a little program here using the Gogga. Remember that when you use the Gogga, you need to go to your projects, and I have already gone to the libraries folder, right-clicked on there, I go add jar folder, and then I go and add the it.jar package, and I will put a link so that you can go and download the it.jar if you don't have it. All right, so once I've done that, I can set my grid size. I've got Gogga.set grid size 10,20 just to make the grid bigger. Then I go and create a Gogga object, Gogga bug equals new Gogga, bracket, bracket. Then I'm going to set the color of my Gogga, bug.set color, color.green. When you type that in, you're going to find it gets underlined in red. You just need to do your import. Let me show you the import. Here are my two imports, and they come up if you just type the keys Control, then hold the Control key, press Shift and I. Control plus Shift plus I, and that makes the imports happen automatically. So we've then set the trail width to 10. That's to draw a slightly thicker little trail as the bug moves. Then bug.set position 3,19, and we're going to move the Gogga 10 times. That's to draw the stalk of our flower. We want to draw the center of the flower, so I set the trail width to 20, which is a bit thicker. I set the color to yellow, color.yellow, and I set the position to 3,8. That's just above where the stalk stops. And then I just move the Gogga once, bug.move. Now we're going to draw the flower in pink, bug.set trail width 30, and bug.set color, color.magenta, bug.set position 4,9, and then I do a for loop from 0 to 4, and I move the Gogga twice, and then I say bug.turn left. So you can see we're drawing a little square 2 by 2 over here. So if I run this, Shift F6, it takes a little bit long to run. Shift F6, what's happening? Okay, there it is on the right. You can see the stalk is being drawn, and then the center of the flower, and then the outside of the flower in pink. So we've got 3 parts to our program. Okay, the stalk, the center, and the flower. So what I want to do is separate these into methods, which will make our code look tidier. And also, if we look at the main method, it will be much clearer what we are doing in our program. It makes each little task, we put it into a separate method, and that just makes it much clearer because we'll call the methods from the main method. So I'll show you this. I'll create another program to do this. So we're going to click the orange block with the green plus. We use Java with and Java application, and I'm going to call it flower with methods. And I'll click there. I don't know why. Oh, I think I didn't click Java to create a Java main class. I'll just call this flower with methods. And I'm going to right click and create a new document tab group to put that on the right. So I've got the flower program on the left and the one with the methods over here on the right. And I've created a shortcut for myself to remove all of these comments. So I just go Alt F8 and the comments have gone, which I'm quite happy with. All right, so now we're going to create methods. So because we're going to want to use our Gogga bug throughout this whole class, from this curly bracket to this curly bracket, I must make sure that I declare the Gogga bug inside the class, not inside the main method, because then it would only be valid from that curly bracket to that curly bracket. So I must say Gogga bug over here. I'm declaring my Gogga bug over here. I haven't done my import, my I haven't added the jar folder, the jar package. So I'm going to do that, add jar folder and it.jar over there. And then I'm going to go Control-Shift-I and my import gets done. And that Gogga is not underlined in red anymore. So I've declared the Gogga bug outside the main method. Can you see? There it is. Just the declaration. The equals new Gogga, that part is the instantiation. I will do that inside the main method. So bug equals new Gogga, brackets. That's the instantiation, and I'll do that there. I need to make this public static and declare the bug as a static object so that it can be called by a static method. Okay, and the other thing I need to do is to set the grid size. So Gogga.set grid size, I'm going to copy that from the flower program into my flower with methods program, and I need to set the grid size before I make my new Gogga object, before I instantiate my new Gogga object. Okay, so we've got these two lines are now done in our flower with methods program. Now I'm going to make a method just for the stalk. Okay, so all of that code, as you look on the left, is going to go into a separate method. So I can see my main method ends here by this highlighted yellow curly bracket. I'm going to move my cursor there. I'm going to press enter twice. It's nice to leave a blank line between the methods. I'm going to go public, static, void. A void method simply means a method that does its job and does not send back data. It's just the simplest method type that you can get. So public static void, the method name is stalk. I always put bracket for methods. Okay, and I put two curly brackets, the opening and closing one. Everything between these two curly brackets, that is what the method's going to do. I'm going to go back to the left here, and all of this code that draws the stalk, I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to go Control-C to copy. I could also go right-click and copy, but it takes more time. So Control-C, and then I'm going to just Control-V here on the right to paste the same code, because that draws the stalk. And then because I want to make sure that that code gets run, I'm going to call the method from the main method. So stalk bracket semicolon, that hands over control of the execution of the program to the stalk method. All of these lines get run and the stalk will get drawn, and then when it's finished, control of the execution will come back to wherever we left off from under the stalk method. We haven't got anything there yet, but we will add code now. Okay, so next thing we need to do is to add a little method to draw the center. So, oops, I deleted my curly brackets. I'm going to go to the underneath the stalk method. I'm going to type public static void center brackets. I click enter and I put my curly brackets in to put the center method. I'm going to copy the code from my flower class on the left. I highlight the code, Control-C. I click here on the right and I go Control-V to paste the code. So now I've got my center method. Let's make sure we call it from the main method. So just after calling stalk, I'm going to now call center. And then the next thing I need to do is make a method to draw the actual pink flower. So again, public static void flower, and I go enter, put my curly brackets in. NetBeans automatically puts the closing one in. I need to go and copy the code here on the left to actually draw the flower. There it is. I highlight it, Control C, click on the right, Control V, and there is the code for drawing the flower. I need to call the flower method from the main method. So I'm going to click just behind center, click enter, and I type flower, bracket, bracket, semicolon, and that calls the flower method. So I'm now drawing the stalk, the center, and the flower. And the code on the right should work just the same as the code on the left. So let's run it. Shift F6, and there's my, I've made the grid so small I can't really make this go much faster, but you can see that has produced exactly the same result as we had from the code on the left. So, but it's, if you look at the code on the right, it is actually clearer to see at a glance. Okay, we're making a Gogga bug, and then we're drawing a stalk, a center, and a flower. And if you want to look at more detail of the code, you can go and see how that is done. And now, because I thought these flowers are very pretty, I thought that I would make more flowers. So I made a very big grid size. Let me remove that. So I've got a public class called flowers now. And I did the same thing as before. I made a public static Gogga bug. And then I've got the same thing, except it's not just stalk, center, and flower. It's stalks, centers, and flowers. And my grid size is quite big, 50,20. And what I did is in the stalks method, it's still color green, trail width 10, but I've drawn 12 stalks. Okay, I've done a for loop from 1 to 12, and then I set the position at intervals of 4. My X, I moved it up 4. So I went bug.set position I, which is the loop counter of the for loop, times 4 minus 1. That's just to position my cursor 4 steps on each time, comma 19. So that's right at the bottom of the grid. You'll see when we draw it just now. And then I moved my, that's the same, just moved the cursor, drew a stalk of 10 blocks long. Then I did 12 centers, and I did 12 flowers. So let's have a look how this code works. You can see we're calling the stalks, centers, and flowers methods from the top there. Shift F6 to run it. I'm going to speed it up because this takes a while to draw. And there are our 12 little flowers. And then I thought this looks not very organic, as they say these days. We'd like it to look a little bit prettier. So I drew some leaves in. So we're going to make some methods to draw some leaves. And we're going to go to the bottom here and create 2 more methods. So my one is public static void. I'm going to make a leaf draw, a method to draw a leaf on the right of a stalk. Okay. And then because I thought it would be nice if the leaves got drawn randomly, so I went int ran x. I'm going to create a random number x that gets positioned just to the right of a random stalk, a random flower. So it's 4 times int, you know how to generate a random number, int math.random, bracket, bracket, times 12. I want to position it at one of the 12 stalks. And then I'm going to say on the outside here, +3. Okay, that's to make sure it's sitting next to a stalk. And then for my Y position, I'm also going to generate it a bit randomly. I'm going to say int, I want it to be somewhere up or down on the stalk. So I've got math.random. And then I'm going to say times 7. I don't want it to be too close to the flower to bump into the flower. And then I'm going to put +13. So it's on the right. I've worked it out. You'll see in a moment. It's just in the right position on the grid. Okay, then we need to bug.set position. and we're going to use our ran X, comma, ran Y. And we want to make sure that the trail width, I said set trail width. Remember, you can double click, and we want it to be, we're going to start with a thin trail width of 5. We're making sure the color's right, because we've been drawing the, remember we've been drawing the pink stalk just before this, the pink flower. So we need to say color dot green, because we want our leaves to be green. Then we need to make sure the Gogga is drawing in the right direction. So I said bug.set direction, Gogga dot right. Okay, and now we can start drawing our flower, our leaf. So bug.move, oops, not in capitals, let's try again, bug.move, and then we want a for loop to draw the actual little leaf. We need a FOR tab, gives you a for loop, not to thin, we just need a little square. So we're going to draw a little square. Oh, before we do that, I'm just going to make the trail width a little bit wider. So bug.set trail width, and we'll make it 15. And now we can draw our little square. So bug.move, bracket, bracket, and bug.turn left. Where's the turn left? Turn left. Right, so that is going to draw a leaf to the right of the stalk. So I'm going to call this little method right leaf 12 times. I'm going to draw 12 little leaves. They'll be all over the place. Maybe we could even call it maybe 20 times. Should we make it 20? Okay, so we're going to call right leaf 20 times to draw 20 little right leaves. And I'm going to go Shift F6 and run this, test it. There are flowers, and there are our leaves. Okay, and that looks quite pretty. Would be nice to have some left leaves now all over the place. And so let's go and just copy our right leaf method. Remember, you're allowed to copy your own code. So I'm going to highlight that, Control C, I click at the bottom of the method. I'm going to press enter twice. Nice to leave a blank line under between the methods, and Control V to paste. And instead of right leaf, I've got 2 right leaf methods. I need to change the name, so I'm going to call it left leaf. I'm going to generate the same random number for X, same random number for Y, but instead of setting the direction and drawing to the right, I'm going to set the direction to the left. So this needs to change to left. And also over here, when I say bug.move, instead of drawing the leaf like that, I need to turn right to draw the little leaf on the other side. And we need to go up to the top main method, and I'm going to copy this code to draw 20. Oops, no, wait, what have I done? I need to copy this code, Control C, click there, and Control V, and instead of calling right leaf, this time I'm going to call left leaf. Let's go Shift F6, and let's have a look at what these leaves look like. It's drawing the 20 right leaves now, and now here come all our left leaves, and there you go. So have fun. Maybe you can even add birds in the sky here, or a tree, or anything you feel like doing.